Oh, there we go. Are we? Oh, there we go. Okay, whatever. We'll do it again. Insane. More. Just stop. What's up, Mo? 3 times. Welcome to the we episodes. Yeah, I know I'm in there. Now. Yeah. Yeah, I did something crazy. Took my computer just like 5 minutes ago, and oh wow. How do you get love, you got a crown next to your name. What's that for? Oh my God, I'm hitting yays and you guys don't even, you can't see me. Yep. Here we are, another Wednesday. We live. I'm Mo 3 times, talking shit, getting clicks to the network, and tonight's show, the anatomy of a hater. Reloaded. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been crazy this whole entire week. First and foremost, do I sound okay? What's good? Hey, Winnie Boo. Hey, love. Talking shit, get clicks. Can you guys hear me? Do I sound echoey? Because I sound echoey in my head. It's killing me. This is killing me. Yeah. And there you guys are. Will, flashback, what's good? Yeah, we're going to get into it this evening. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to break down. I probably should have been did this. Honestly. I think this one's been long overdue. I think this guy should have probably been the first one, if we could all agree. Maybe. But honestly, I had to do it because this guy here he's a hater. He's a hater of the highest order. And like, honestly, like I held off at first because everything else going on in the world, I mean, the subject, this making it a subject would just be too obvious. I didn't want to be too obvious, but not no more. He's getting no more passes because I got a little time today and I hope you do too. That is not the right button already. But yeah, I got time today. I hope you do too, because we're gonna peel back the crusty gold-plated layers of a truly abominable excuse for a piece of shit parading as a human being. Piece of shit parading as a human being. Aww. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and JumpOut Gang. Oh yeah, I gotta say what's up to the JumpOut Gang.
Many people know them as the JumpOut Boys in their city.
Ain't nothing. I had to. Let me get it out my system. All right. So, yeah, JumpOut Gang. We're going to explore Donald Trump, the anatomy of a hater. Hope everybody's good. Let's get into it. Let's dig in, peel back these layers. All right. First of all, let's not get it twisted. Donald John Trump entered the world on June 14th. You remember the same day he had his parade last month in 1946. He was born in Queens, New York, and he is the fourth. I want to circle him out. There he is right here. He is the fourth of 5 kids born to Frederick Christ Trump and Mary Ann McLeod Trump. These are his parents right here. Now, Fred Sr. was he was a real estate shark in a 3-piece suit. Did he have warmth? No. Empathy? LOL. No. This man ran his household like a hostile takeover. Approval in the Trump household wasn't earned through love or learning. It came from winning, humiliating, and dominating. And I bring up this picture as an example. This is Fred's firstborn son, Fred Jr., AKA Donald Trump's older brother. Right? This guy pictured here was thoughtful. He was soft-spoken. And in that house, it meant he was a loser. Aww. True. But Donald took notes, and not the kind that help out on a test. Like, he learned to never be soft. He also learned never to be second, although he acts like a number 2. All right, cut it out. Anyway, Fred pictured here dies at 42 years of age from alcoholism. I mean, it was a tragedy for Donald Trump, and it was a lesson in what not to be. Human. So, another family tale, Donald, as a little young teenager, once threw rocks at a baby in a playpen. Are you like
many people?
Yeah, in a playpen. Mama screamed. His father just kind of shrugged it off. I am not lying to you. I am not giving you guys fairy tales. These are facts. Now, Mary Trump is his niece, and she's also a clinical psychologist, and she has said it plainly that he is a high-functioning sociopath. That is not a diagnosis. That's a warning. It's a warning to all of us. Now, I got to check in with the audience real quick. What kind of person do you become when you're trained to see love as a scoreboard and failure as a disease? Let me know in the chat. You can hear the angst. Yeah, there's angst. As long as I don't sound like an echo, I don't mind sounding like an echo in my head, but as long as I'm not sounding like an echo out there. Yeah, I'm going to skip past this, even though I had this slide up because when Donald Trump was married to Ivana, not Ivanka, his first wife Ivana, they were going through some problems, and there's a quote from Fred Sr. saying, if they get divorced, when they get divorced, I hope she gets into a plane crash because it would make my life better. He said something basically like that. I'm paraphrasing. But wow. Are we really laughing at that? That is not something we should be laughing at.
Hated it.
Oh, I brought that back. Now, we have to ask, really. Ramid, what's good, Kato?
Oh!
What's good? Oh, I don't know what the sound is. Anatomy of a Hater. Reloaded. So yeah. I'll pop up. I thought I was over here. But here I am. My mic sounds so weird to me, guys. Forgive me. All right. So around 13 years of age, I think he's a little older than 13 in his picture. Donald was kicked out of Coup Forest School for being too unruly. So he was shipped to New York Military Academy, where, you know, sociopathy gets promoted to sergeants. You get brass for being a sociopath in these types of works. Now, when he was there, he could yell, he could intimidate, he weaponized his charisma, and he did all of that. He also bullied classmates. He humiliated rivals, and he made cruelty into leadership. And as a result, they called it character. Now, the uniform, it was just his first costume. It's his first costume. Military grays turns into Brioni suits, and eventually, I don't know, red MAGA hats. I mean, the man never took it off. He only swapped fabrics. Bam. Yo, tell me this. Think back. Like, did you ever know a kid who was just a bully? You know, he thought he was being loud, made him right. I can't even talk. Now imagine that kid grows up and gets his hand on some nukes. Sound off. Let me know. The kid that was chucking rocks into baby carriages with his mom screaming because he was trying to hurt little babies, that kid has grown up physically. And now that kid has nukes. No rocks, nukes. But let's go more into it. So after military school, he makes a pit stop at Fordham University. Ultimately, he decides he's going to transfer to Wharton. His brother, who died, Fred Jr., actually talked to one of the guys that were admitting people at Wharton. And so when Donald Trump talks about, you know, he went to Wharton, it was a hard school, it was hard to get into, really, his older brother went in and put in a good word for him. And back in the 60s, no big deal. They let him into Wharton. So no, he didn't stay up all night studying. He didn't do any of the sort. He was basically hooked up, got a hookup to go to college. Anyway, he loves to drop Wharton like he's like name dropping like he went to Hogwarts or something like that. But anyway, his classmates there barely remember him. Oh, yeah. And then in a theme that we're going to find themey with Donald Trump, he refuses to release his grades. I don't know if I have a button for that.
You stupid.
Maybe, or there you go. Refuses to release his grades. Refuses to release his taxes. Refuses to release client lists. Are we? You see where I'm going here? So anyway, I mean, valedictorian, I don't think he was. Anyway, he claims he built an empire with a small loan. Yeah, with a small $1 million loan. That's cute. Because really, IRS documents, court filings say Fred Sr. funneled him over $400 million. He did it through shell companies. He did it dodging taxes. He did it through backdoor deals. And what did he do with all of that cash? He got casinos and bankrupted the out of them. Bankrupted casinos. He lost billions. He stiffed small businesses like it was a competitive sport. Now, before and during these failures in business, we just got done talking about how Fred Sr. had such an impact on his life growing up, introducing him to the business game, handing him funds, unearned funds through shady means. But there's another mentor that Donald Trump had in his life. Yeah, The man's name is Roy Cohn. There was a movie on HBO about Roy Cohn, and it was portrayed by James Woods. And in this movie, I remember it's like the early 90s, so I was probably like 9 or 10 watching. But of course, you guys know I love movies. But one of the things I remember was that he was anti-gay, but seemed to be closeted. He died of AIDS in 1986. I remember that. And I remember that he was in McCarthyism, you know, the Red Scare back in the 50s or whatever. But I do remember that there was a scene where he's at a political party or something, and he does exactly what Trump says later on in life. He sees a young girl from one of his associates, one of the friends at a party. She had to be, I don't know, 7 years old. He ends up, he's already a grown man in his 30s, maybe 40s, and ends up marrying that young girl. I'm just saying, I'm pointing out little pennants. If you feel like dragging a line to that pen, by all means. If you don't, I mean, but that's what I'm doing. Anyway, Roy Cohn was a chain-smoking, closeted, ruthless lawyer, best known for being Senator John McCarthy's right hand during the Red Scare, like I explained earlier. You can Google that. Red Scare, McCarthyism, all that stuff. Bad time in America. Everybody being called communist. Craziness. Anyway, when McCarthy was out there accusing everyone from school teachers to your grandma of being a communist, Cohn was the guy whispering, like, yeah, now we need to go after the army. Wendy, you're right. He's a perv. A pervert. A pervert. Pervert. The T is silent. Yeah. So when a young, arrogant, daddy-funded Trump met Cohn in the early 70s, it was a match made in, well, I mean, something hot, something a little litigious and morally bankrupt. Anyway, here's how Roy Cohn influenced Trump. All right. And honestly, he shaped Trump. We all got to know, and most of us dread, and some of them actually love. Donald Trump first crossed paths with Roy Cohn, 1973. He was at an exclusive Manhattan hotspot, often described as a disco or a members-only venue like Le Club, where power brokers hung out. Now, from that point on, they forged an intense bond. Cohn not only defended Trump, but actively shaped his aggressive media strategy, filing a dramatic $100 million countersuit in 1973. And of course, the move was more designed for publicity and then for a courtroom victory. But we'll get back to that 1963. Now, Roy Cohn has a rule book. PBS did a story on Frontline about Roy Cohn's playbook. All right. First, never apologize, ever. Cohn taught Trump to treat apologies like it was weakness. Even when you're caught dead to rights, you double down, you deny, you deflect, you sue. And Trump's refusal to admit fault, even when reality is face planting in front of him, is straight out of Cohn's playbook. Remember, first term, 40,000 lies, insane. Anyway, second rule is to sue the hell out of everybody. I mean, Trump became known for weaponizing lawsuits, even frivolous ones, to intimidate enemies or critics, and that's textbook Cohn. You know, he sued to delay, he sued to silence, or just to flex. And don't get mad, sue was basically his motto. Don't get mad, sue. Rule number 3, loyalty is everything. Until it's not. Cohn taught Trump to prize loyalty, but only as a one-way street. I mean, Cohn was infamous for ditching friends when they were no longer useful to him. Does that sound like a familiar tool that could be in your current president's bag? 4, media manipulation. I should probably do it with like the 4, media I can't even say manipulation. I need to manipulate my mouth to say it. No, I can't do it. Media manipulation. That's right. Cohn was the master of spin. He used fear, he used scandals and outrage to his advantage. All right. And Trump learned how to make these headlines. Even the bad ones, they work in his favor. The 24/7 news cycle, Trump is feasting on it. 5, crush the enemy. Number 5 is crush the enemy. Cohn told Trump, if someone hits you, hit them back 15 times harder. Like it's a scorched earth mentality, and it shaped Trump's public feuds, his political purges, and I alone can't fix it posturing. Yo, I was thinking about something today. Trump just wanted to what do we call him? Kick someone out. He wanted to kick somebody out the country that he was beefing with back in the day. I forget the lady's name. She was in a league of their own. Chubby lady, comedian. Can you guys remember her name? I forgot her name. I'm looking at her face. I can see her face. She used to have a talk show. Lesbian. I mean, what's her name? Wendy? Anybody? Damien. I know flashback was coming with the Damien. Who was the lady that Trump was beefing with in the early 2000s that had a talk show? Chubby comedian lady. Damn, I'm looking at her face. I forget her name, which is not good for me. I need to take my ginkgo biloba. Rosie O'Donnell. Thank you, Wendy. I love you.
Oh!
Rosie O'Donnell threatened to kick her out the United States of America because they had beef years ago because she brought up on A View. I think Rosie O'Donnell had been on A View, one of the ladies on A View earlier, like years ago. He brought something up about him being a cheater and a douche, if you will. Anyway, that's right. Crush the enemy. Now, bonus drama. Trump, and I'm going back to 1973. Trump was once personally sued by the Department of Justice for housing discrimination. In 1973, who did he call? Not Ghostbusters. He called Roy Cohn. And Cohn's response was countersue the government for $100 million. And now I'm not going to spoil, I will spoil it for you. It didn't work, but it set the tone for the shit that he does today. Now, I'm laughing, but it's not funny because Cohn died of AIDS in 1986, and Trump distanced himself hard. He didn't go to the hospital to visit his mentor. He no real public mourning. He was ice cold and cold-blooded, but also it was a move Cohn would make himself. So in the same year, in 1986, the Central Park ads. I mean, Don took out full-page death penalty ads, no apology after exoneration. And I mean, in the 1980s, undocumented labor, he hired Polish workers without proper pay or safety gear to help build Trump Tower. That case was later settled. So, audience, kick back, audience. Let me know. Oh, that is not the music I want to. That is not the music I want to play. But yeah, tell me how you feel about this. Yo, can you see Cohn's influence on how Trump's currently runs his political campaigns, how he runs his administration? Can you see the influence there? Like, am I giving you information that you're like, oh, that makes sense why he is the way he is? Like, does the deny, the deflect, destroy explain his legal strategy? I mean, would Trump have ever risen to power without Roy Cohn's expert tutelage? That's a real question. Would Donald Trump have risen to power without the tutelage of Roy Cohn? Love says definitely. I'll move these up a little bit. He said he hates Democrats. Who? Roy Cohn? I mean, at the time, you would think Trump was a Democrat. Anyway, you see this beautiful picture of Trump at the Taj Mahal. In the 90s, the casino bankruptcy. We got to go back to that. Filed bankruptcies. Trump skated personal laws, left creditors hanging. 91, he makes a racist accountant remark saying, "Black guys counting my money is not right." What do the children say to that? I know, children. Fucking. Yeah, one more time. Yo, 1991, same year, racial staffing rule. NJ regulators fined him for removing black female casino dealers. 1990, divorces Ivana, allegations that he cheated, he was cruel, and treated her inhumanely. She also alleged that he raped her and later divorce book deposition. Yeah, I'm not going to say grape. I'm not going to change the words. This is the shit he did. Bought his way in. His pops kind of bought his way in. Now, when the empire starts to collapse, my man went full infomercial. When I started this show tonight, I tried to start with the infomercial for his Trump steak. But yes, he had the Sharper Image Trump steaks. He sold food on the Sharper Image, and that's like a store where you buy all types of gadgets and stuff like that, like personal fans, little spy pens or something like that, or massagers or something like that. But this MS is selling steaks. I give it up for his entrepreneurship. He said those steaks are the best steaks on the planet, like the best 2% steaks on the planet. Right? He said if it had a label, he would slap his name on it. Now, and around this time, he's getting more and more cozy with Eastern European crime lords because every failing capitalist needs a few shady friends. I gotta ask, has someone ever met someone that failed upwards so hard it made you question gravity? I got you guys. Everybody in the chat, and everybody in the call, I got you in the call queue. That's his vodka. That's Trump University. I think 2005 there was a lawsuit or something. I'm gonna say. 2015 was a lawsuit. I think he tried to start it in 2005. Anyway, after all, oh man, these are his. I thought this was I didn't mean to put this up here. This is Trump and his team's ties to Russia. Oh, this came off the House.gov website. One of the congressmen posted this. You know, because there's a lot of people talking about some James Comey because they were going after Comey now and they're going after some people, but they don't really know what they're going after them for yet. I don't even know how this got up there, but if you're looking at it, yeah. Anyway, The Apprentice. Listen, NBC gave that man a lifeline and a whole ass fantasy along with it. Producers rigged the edit to make him look like he was genius. Behind the scenes, they say he was clueless, he was creepy, and he was wildly inappropriate. I mean, he didn't know who was getting hired, but he knew who the hell he was objectifying. Women from the show say he asked if they were on the pill during filming. He also reportedly made racist comments off camera, calling black contestants lazy. So what you saw was charisma. What you didn't was a predator being gift wrapped before prime time. Yeah, ew. Yo, how many people do you think still believe that the TV version of Trump is real? I've watched The Apprentice a couple times, love. Yo, what's more dangerous? If he lies or people who are willing to believe his lies? I don't know. All I know is that by 2015, Trump had whipped up every ounce of Tea Party resentment. Remember the Tea Party? That's Obama being sad, yeah. Because it was like an Obama era backlash. I mean, and he whipped it up and he baked it into a nice racist souffle. Now, He didn't want the job. He wanted the spotlight. But let's get to the receipts. 26 women, 20 plus women, I'll say it, just, journalistic, accused him of assault. Oh, hold on for a second. Do you guys remember this? Let me play this for you. Not that. Here we go. It's got a warning because he's gonna. This is gonna be crazy. You heard the F word. Put the kids to bed. I had to play that because I know it's been a while since you guys heard that. Hold on, one more time. That's what you can do. I mean, that's enough of that. If you guys want the link, let me know. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Yeah, like when he, like, does that sound like locker room talk? Because that's what it was dismissed as when it first came out. They were like, oh, it's just locker room talk. To be fair, this might have been the first thing that made many of his supporters kind of be like, oh, I don't know about this dude. People who were MAGA kind of bowed out at this time. A lot of other ones, as you and I know, stayed in for that. But yeah. Yep. This is also the guy, let's remind you, that called, and you know this is at a head this week. We're going to talk about it. I got Will on the line waiting. Yo, that wasn't locker room talk, though, with that video. That was a confession. He was confessing. The thing is, Billy Bush was sitting there and just listening to him talk this shit and was just kind of giggling at it. And Billy Bush got fired. This MF is the one that was actually saying that dumb shit, and he's president of the United States. Please, tell me how we do that.
Hated it.
All right. So yeah. He called Epstein a terrific guy. He danced with him. He partied with him. He probably was talking that same talk he was talking with Billy Bush to him. They were talking about the ladies, but these ladies were allegedly underage AF. Yeah. Later, as you know, earlier this week, late last week, Trump later tried to block the Epstein file releases. Elon Musk even called them out. Yikes. Yeah, and let's not forget, once again, Central Park 5. They were exonerated, and he still refuses to apologize for that. Oh. Birtherism. Somebody posted this, and he reposted it. Donald Trump's birther event is the greatest trick he's ever pulled. The worst of politics. He retweeted a Washington Post. Oh, yeah. And then, come on, guys. Very fine people on both sides. This is Charlottesville, Virginia. Yo, that's not random. Come on. Roy Cohn, his father. These aren't random things. And this is a strategy. He divides, he conquers, and then he denies. Please tell me, what's more terrifying? What's more terrifying? A predator with power or a public who has been too desensitized to even give a flying fuck?
Oh!
Tell me. Let me know. Yeah. All right, we're getting closer. All right, so guys, he lost the 2020 election. And then he decided to turn democracy into like a chew toy or whatever. January 6th, let's not ever forget. It wasn't a riot. It was a planned tantrum. No, it was a riot. It was a riot. Anyway, people said during this day, this MF was giddy. They quoted saying he was giddy, watching it on TV like it was a pay-per-view event. Now it's 2025. He's back. It's personal. This MF has been gutting agencies, as you know. You've been watching the show each week in, week out. Gutting agency, firing civil servants, and threatening the Constitution. I mean, this is not politics. This is bullshit. Let me know, guys, in the chat. What would you call it when one man gets fired by democracy and comes back to fire democracy instead? I'm being a poet tonight, guys. Let me know. Shut up. It takes me a while to get in my bag. Anyway, I would go ahead and say that, yeah, this man is, he's obsessed with winning because he was never allowed to lose. He sees loyalty as currency. He sees empathy as weakness. He doesn't pray. He doesn't apologize. He just consumes attention like it's oxygen. Behind all of that MAGA merch and all those lawsuits, behind the rallies and the ramblings is a scared little boy who learned early you're either dominating or you're invisible. Yeah, he never evolved. He just got louder. So I have to ask you, what happens to a country when the loudest voice belongs to one of the most emotionally stunted men on the planet? What happens? I'm listening. Donald John Trump. Hater by birth, hustler by branding, and he's hell-bent on dragging the rest of us down with him. From being a toddler, throwing tantrums in Queens, to full-blown constitutional chaos in D.C., this dude didn't just wake up and decide to be the villain. He was fucking groomed for it. This MF was raised by wolves, dressed by Armani, and gassed up by reality TV. He is not a genius. He's not a patriot. He's just a bitter-ass man, well, a bitter man-child in a custom suit, stomping through democracy like it owes him lunch money. And while he sells delusion by the kilo, yeah, that's funny. Why he sells delusion by the kilo? He's selling to people who are afraid of the he's selling to people who are afraid of the metric system. And still they're buying it by the truckloads, even with the high prices from the tariffs. So next time someone says, "Oh, he's a strong leader," ask them, strong like what? And this is not a partisan rant. This is a public safety announcement. I'm Mo 3 times. Let's take calls. Oh, no use. Reloaded. Hey, caller, this is Mo 3 times. Will, everybody give it up. Right? You let them cheer for you, Will. Let them cheer.
The American dream is dead.
There you go. DED dead. Yeah. Quote unquote. I'm glad you said it that way. Quote unquote democracy. Because all right. I'm not. I don't. I wouldn't. I don't feel like I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. But I do have a idea. I got an idea that the buck may not stop with the president of the United States. You know, I'm thinking that there are some other people that have a higher influence on what type of policies go down in the United States of America, and they're not necessarily the voting populace. You know, so you always get that little tinge that, hey, this guy is just going to be a communicator for the United States. He's going to represent the United States, and be the voice for the people and for the policy that the people kind of want. And this guy has just gone broken arrow. He is definitely off the reservation, and it seems like he's taking a big hit this week because of not releasing the client list, right? And like I've just gone over like a whole lifetime of egregious shit that this man has done, and it's amazing to me that it. Oh, oh, okay, all right. So, but it's egregious to me that like it would take um, him losing a substantial amount of supporters because of claims of that he might be involved with some child molestation, or claims that he's covering up child molestation for some powers that be or whatnot. And I mean, I think I said it in like the previous show and the show before that, like I believe in God, bro. Like this has made me believe in God so much that like even somebody that is so evil, somebody that's had so much power and control in his hand could wield it any way he wanted to. Like he is so evil and so inept that he is basically killing himself out there for us. Um, uh-huh. Okay. I got a question for you too. I believe. I was never a big fan of the QAnon, but it was so pervasive that I would look into those and go into those little deep dives of them talking about people in the government and secret tunnels under the airport in Denver or whatever, and really just him being around Epstein and growing up and Winnie and Dickie talking about the company that you keep for them to be like that. Hold on for a second. Give me a second. Oh, Will, they're saying they can't hear you.
I think it's you, babe, because when you were playing the video earlier,
You can't hear.
Bill and Trump, we couldn't hear it either.
You couldn't hear the video with Trump?
No, I kept saying that, but you didn't see my.
No, I can't see comments. It's just me in here.
Yeah. Well,
All right, hold on for a second. All right, so you guys can hear my microphone, right? But if I play a video, you can't hear it?
All right. Yeah.
No video? That's effed up. Hold on. Can you hear that? Trump steaks are the greatest steaks? Maybe this might work. Hello? Hello? How about this?
Word. And the Sharper Image is the only store where you can buy them.
Will, you hear that?
I mean, I can't hear you yet.
Oh, you can hear me. All right, did you guys hear anything? I feel like I'm echoing.
No.
You didn't hear the video at all?
No.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It makes me not even. I hate
Now I
this.
did. Now I heard it.
Okay, we're on then. All right, thank you.
Now you got to echo.
Now I got to echo.
Yeah, on my end anyway.
This is crazy. All right. Let's see. Maybe I can.
Cash Patel trying to hack you.
Cash Patel is that. Yo, you know what? You might be on something. Linked. Hello, is that better? Better? I don't know. I'll be a little vibey right now. All right, so hold on. We got flashback in here. Hello? Talking shit, getting clicks.
Okay, this is your mother, Winnie Hatcher. How you doing?
Hey, Wendy Boo.
Listen, just talking about that man makes my heart jump. But I'm gonna tell you this one. That list is a bunch of names on it, and can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
I hear
Can you hear me?
Yep.
That list has a lot of names on it, with his name being on one, and I guarantee you, it's nothing but rich folk. So they really don't want that list to be out because not only is his name on it, there's 1,000 other people's name on it, mainly ones with money. Also, if it wasn't a list, why is his girlfriend locked up still if he has nothing to do with this?
Well,
You know what I mean? Why is she still locked up? Her lawyer can get her off. If there's no such list, that means there was nothing done. Why is she locked up?
I don't know. Karen Bondi, Bondi was still saying that she had seen videos, and there were hundreds of videos
The
with
family
that
released
involved
a
children.
statement just recently.
This is the thing I was saying last night was, all right, there may not be a list, but you have those videos. Now, we know you cannot show us, and neither do I even want to even look at that stuff.
Well, you don't.
But there are
Right.
people who get paid to investigate and look at that stuff. So look at those videos, and when you identify somebody on there, write it on a piece of paper. After a couple videos, you start getting what they call a list of names, and now you have a list. But it seems
And
like
they're all rich folk.
Definitely.
I tell you what, they all have money. And the thing about the sad, MAGA is upset about this because they thought he was their God. He did no wrong. He spoke truth and let's make America great again. But look, I think they got to think about messing with the babies.
and
They're
you know
not
what?
throwing this one at all.
That's a
So
universal
he's getting ready to
thing.
lose a lot of support.
Right? Exactly. That's
Well,
a
you know what they're
universal
trying to do
thing.
in Texas, huh?
That's what's going to get
They're
him.
trying to redistrict in Texas, right?
Yeah. Yep. They laying the foundation, man. Gerrymandering at its finest.
Different areas but
Gerrymandering at its finest. And they're only targeting, excuse me, Latino and Black areas. And this is after,
I mean, usually that's what
we've gone through at least 2 rounds of gerrymandering in the last 10 years of them redistricting people. Or excuse me, not even redistricting. They're talking, Voting Rights Act of 1965. Just dismantling certain provisions for that, so people cannot vote. So your Latinos and your Black people cannot vote at the same time, while targeting those new Asian voters. See, that's what we have to look at, going into these midterms and going into the future, right? He is distancing himself from the Latino vote. Okay, he can can that. So you can hopefully anyway you see maybe a breakdown in those numbers. That Asian vote, you're gonna get more of that. Never mind. But if we can, or he can, excuse me, redistrict, I can pull more seats in these, make these redder states more red. Kind of even out that blue that's going to take over during these midterms. They're playing, Epstein list, this new fentanyl bill, all this infighting. If let me distract these people that don't think they know anything and try to get some things done to keep Republicans in power for a very, very, very long time. Even if it's him trying to run for a third term. At 85, 86 years old, running the country into the ground.
That's insane. But with this, what I would think is universally, no matter how you feel about immigrants or how you feel about tariffs, I think that a lot of people can agree that we don't want nobody messing with the babies at all. And I think he's not gonna, obviously, listen, I've been looking at social media. I've seen some people that are local to me trying to make excuses for this. And I don't see any other excuse if you're trying to kill a list is that you are on it. And if you're not on it, like Winnie Boo said, you're trying to protect people that are on it. So, right there, it should be full stop for everyone in America that isn't on any type of, one of those neighborhood sex lists. Should be voting the other way, in the midterms, and shit, mobilizing to do something about this one. I think this is. I was talking to Evelyn, we saw the assassination attempt. We saw that come and go. Couple days of that. Wore a bandage, made some jokes, and that was over. I think this Epstein list is going to be something that sticks around for a while. I can see us talking about this time next month, which is not anything that's par for the course these days, media-wise, major news cycles or social media. But this is something that I see that we're going to be talking about for a while.
Put it on a timer, man. I don't have the faith that anything is going to come of it. I just don't. I think there's too much power, too many powerful people with money.
I get it.
They don't want to risk everybody finding out how nasty they are, and we know they're nasty.
Nasty, disgustingly nasty.
Yeah, we know they do. We know they're disgusting, despicable people.
Let's try out my Let's see if my audio's working. Let me restart this. This is Charlie Kirk.
I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. Honestly, I'm done talking about it.
I mean, he's going to trust his friends in the government. If he sees a black pilot, he does not want to get on that flight, but he's trusting his friends in the government on this specific subject, being the Epstein list right now. Those are the ones that I'm talking about that are going to stick around no matter what. And let's not get it twisted. I think Charlie Kirk is an asshole. I think he's an idiot, but I don't think he's stupid. So I can only think that the only reason why he's sticking by this is because it's an ego thing, because he's trumpeted Trump for so long. It's kind of hard to let go. It's like an emotional thing, or
Come on, man. You know
there's going to be
that.
something in for it. You know, there's still some checks there for people who are going to, you know, be on his side no matter what.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
I mean, I have a call-in line, so when you disagree, you can call in. Sometimes I should make you guys disagree. I should say something that's disagreeable because I get a little bit more action out of that. But that's stuff that Charlie Kirk and the boys do. All right, let's juxtapose that with what we got here. Oh, one of our favorite people.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him?
I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment, and I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
All right, so that seems to be like one of the main messages, that these people who wholeheartedly, full of soul and everything, endorsed him for the last 10 years. These people are turning around. It looks like for Candace Owens, she started to turn around the Iran time. Some people turned when they saw ICE just being out of control, snatching people up in the streets, snatching them out of schools. That was he lost some people for that. My question I wanted to ask, Will, when you were first talking is, like, I remember we had some shows before and I was talking about Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer was basically like, listen, and him and Hakeem Jeffries were talking about the numbers. Hey, he has this much support. Once his polls and his likability numbers drop, you know, down to like 27% or whatever, then we can strike. We all looked at Chuck Schumer like, oh my God, is that the only plan you have for all this BS that's going on in the country, just to wait? And it seems to me like waiting is working, because it seems like Donald Trump can't get out of his own way to save his life or to, you know, get that third term that he's been talking about. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about Chuck Schumer now today compared to maybe how you might have thought about him 2-3 weeks, a month ago? Anybody?
Lying.
Chuck's lying?
He's fodder, you know what I mean? Political fodder.
All right, but you can see where I'm going with this. Like there was a little mini civil war. Laura Loomer came in there. Like, it seemed like a lot of people who support this guy, the more and more, excuse me, the more and more stuff that he does that's, you know, unlikable to his base. It seems like they're getting out of Dodge here.
No, I don't think enough of them are getting out of Dodge and being vocal enough while getting out of Dodge. Like, it's one thing to just say I'm gonna get out of Dodge, right? I'm gonna remove myself from this madness. But am I gonna tell my constituents that? Am I gonna tell my constituents the same thing? And on the other hand, you have President Trump literally calling Republican congressmen saying that if you don't support my legislation or if you don't push my madness, you're not going to get my support.
So your primary.
They're living in fear.
But in that same token, as his numbers begin to dip, as people start moving to the other side, or just totally out of his arena, like I said, I expect that this is going to be a talking point next month, because it's so salacious. Because for the last over a decade now, we've been talking about QAnon and some secret government cabal that is, interfering with children. And we are now seeing that, hey, there's some information.
Yeah.
Bondi said there was some information, and she's at a press conference, and she's looking at Trump, and Trump kind of takes over and says, what is this all about? So then we have to ask ourselves, was Bondi lying? Was Cash Patel lying? Was Dan Bongino lying about having these files and these client lists? It doesn't look good at all. But like I said before, it seems like every little thing that he does is giving people reasons to move away from his base. And I get the point that you're talking about like you just can't move away. You got to move away loudly. And I get that because that's something that decent human beings do. But when you had such a love fest with this man for a decade, when you were, just singing his praises for over 10 years now, buying the merch, and you're full in on it, bro, I'm not going to lie. It took me a while to distance myself from Kanye West with all his crap. It took me I had to look at myself like, yo, you know what? He makes great music, but he's a fucking asshole.
And how long did it take?
Oh, man.
How many years did it take? Did you write a tell-all?
He did a couple things.
You.
No, I didn't. I did not. But it took a while. And that's just music. But a lot of people's identity is tied to being a Trump supporter. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, that he's had a base that's been so locked in with him. But at the same time, a lot of them are waking up. They're waking up to this BS, and they're kind of moving away. So, I mean, if this continues to happen, if he continues to lose support in his base, if he continues to get those lower likability numbers, will it even be is it even a threat anymore to say I'm going to primary you when, hey, buddy, you can't even come out and support me and to get me votes anymore because you're so unpopular with the people in my district or whatever? Can you see that happening? If no, please let me know.
Yeah, I can't. No. I don't see it happening.
No, not. And for the next, I don't know, what is it, year and a half? For the next year and a half, he's not going to lose enough numbers to push that needle?
No. When I think about, all right, so I think last month, a month and how many weeks ago was it when we really started to hear about the midterms and how important it was for the Democrats to win back those blue states, you say? How many weeks ago was that when that really became hot?
I don't know. I watch a lot of news, so they've been talking about midterms since he got elected. But I guess it came in a little bit more hotter with Epstein, maybe, right? Maybe I started seeing it with definitely the Iran bombing, Pete Hegseth sending the messages to the wrong people.
So my deal is you're obviously, just like you said, you're crumbling. You're looking weak. You're looking incompetent. Your staff, your nominations are looking horrible. We all know that, right? So what do? If you're a strategist, right? If you're looking at this from the long term, you do what the guy said he's trying to do with these 3 or 4 or 5 states, right? If I'm going to lose some if I'm going to lose, all right, I'm going to make sure that I cheat before we even get to me losing so that I can equal out. That's why he's trying to redistrict in Florida. I can bet Florida. I can bet Texas, Texas as well.
Right, but let's not get it twisted. This isn't Donald Trump trying to do this. This isn't. This is the authors of Project 2025. These are the hardcore Republicans that were already in place before Trump got there.
Okay.
It's cool that you said strategist, though. You make me want to pull this video up. Let me pull a video real quick.
Congresswoman Luna, thank you for all the work you've done on releasing the JFK files and trying to get the Epstein files released. A good friend of yours, Steve Bannon, who I'm also a huge fan of, did an interview with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019, and he recorded almost 15 hours of footage interviewing Jeffrey Epstein. There has never been an interview with Jeffrey Epstein publicly released, except some of the depositions and whatnot. Would you ask Steve Bannon to release this footage now? Because I think it's very relevant.
What's up?
I saw this there, man. We tracking. Go ahead, my bad.
All right.
And might give us some insight into what Jeffrey Epstein's motivations are and whatnot.
Well, I think you just asked him for us, right? That's actually the first time I'm hearing of that, but yeah, I'd be very interested in seeing that footage, and I think the American people would too.
Moving into the 2026 midterms, how do we get over the trend that the party in the White House loses seats in Congress, and just how do we move forward?
Well, according to the polling I'm seeing, we're not losing any seats. That's I think that's a historical record will reflect that. But again, you know, I feel like 10% of us in Congress do 90% of the work, and so it's our whole goal and objective to push the party into codifying and getting off our bums and actually doing the right thing by maybe doing our jobs in Washington. And so if you guys can continue to help with that message, that would be great.
All right.
We start with a MAGA reckoning. Donald Trump ripping his own
party. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So, yeah, that was Anna Paulina. And Turning Point USA, a lot of people who showed up on that stage had something to say about that Jeffrey Epstein list. That wasn't the right video that I was supposed to play. But what I got out of this is the losing seats thing. All right. So, Will, we know whoever the president is, midterms, they usually lose seats. Even with the redistricting working out, do you think there's going to be a loss of seats, or do you think that they're going to be, doing some type of malarkey behind the scenes, like you said already, the redistricting? Are they going to be doing other stuff to win back those seats? Is it different now? This is real time thinking.
Is what different?
Like our political climate. Like we don't, politics today aren't what they were in 2021. They aren't what they were in 2016, 2012, or anything. It seems like we are in a whole new terrain of politics. So, like, I just questioned myself, and it's kind of making me backtrack on that whole, listen, this usually the president will lose, whoever the president is, that party will lose seats during midterms, because that's just usually how it works, because they're in charge, people start complaining, and they're like, oh, we need some new blood in here. So is that still the case in this current political climate, or are we just holding on to our seats, just figuring out what's going to happen?
If we weren't still in that climate, why would Texas be looking to redistrict 4 or 5 districts?
That's what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it as is. It's going to be something that's going to be stoppable. I'm thinking it's going to be something that's worse, because usually when it comes to redistricting, one of the ways to stop it, put a halt to it, is through lawsuits. And it seems like the executive branch has control of the judicial branch.
So what lawsuits you see getting through?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Has the terrain changed? Like, usually, normally, you're going to lose seats. Nobody's playing with anything, even with a little light redistricting, because they're always trying to redistrict. They're always trying to do the red line and take away votes.
This is what, like, when you start talking about redistricting or gerrymandering, it's a broad term. All right, so just one aspect of gerrymandering or redistricting that I want to kind of hammer home down to. You have a government or policymakers who are targeting the voters who they do not wish their voices to be heard in the elections. You're targeting the potential voters by illegal deportation, quote unquote legal deportation. You're taking away the opportunity to submit an absentee ballot. You're taking away the opportunity to vote without X amount of certain types of IDs to individuals. So you've already successfully disenfranchised the voters that you want to disenfranchise. You've been doing it, you've been laying the foundation for years. Now you redistrict to absolutely bleed it out. There's no chance in God's green earth that they could ever come back blue or red or whatever you want them to be. Piece by piece, they're just taking away rights and making people feel like voting really, really matters. The Democratic Party, and I hate to say it, I consider myself independent. When I say there's going to have to be a overwhelming swell of lively blue voters to kind of combat, I think, what the Republicans are doing, it's got to be big. It's got to be big, Mo. I mean, it's got to be huge, bigger than anything we've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like it has to be, because they're making the moves to make it so that it doesn't matter anymore. You know, the idea of civil discourse is becoming a crime.
Civil discourse becoming a crime. Like literally, me putting out the show could get me black bagged in, and the way the country is now. Yo, so while you were saying, I was looking it up, and you're absolutely right. In 2019, Rucho versus Common Cause, the Supreme Court basically threw up their hands and said partisan gerrymandering is a political question, not something that they're going to fix. So they want the politicians to figure it out themselves. Not only that, redistricting and gerrymandering used to be done with Sharpies, spreadsheets, on a wall with some thread, and now it is more precise because it's algorithm driven, and politicians can slice and dice neighborhoods down to a single block.
Hey, I do a assignment with my kids every year towards the end of the semester as a gerrymandering assignment, and really it's X's and O's. You know, you got a big old block with X's and O's. I need you to make X the winning representation in this section. I need you to make X however you need to draw those, those borderlines. Just like you said, man, with crayons.
Yeah,
votes, boys.
And still, I think ultimately, really, you can gerrymander all you want. You can get these districts. You still got to, at the end of the day, get people out to vote. Do you think that which party has the bigger potential to come out in 2026? Do you think that a lot of MAGA people are going to say, hey, I'm not as thrilled with Trump as I used to be, or motivated by, the red hat to go out there and do this, especially knowing that he has some Jeffrey Epstein stuff lurking in the background? And do you think that the Democrats will be energized by all of this bullshit that they've been witnessing and feeling like the United States is teetering on the brink of collapse?
I think, man, it's going to be some Kirk County type ish. People will not vote blue just because they don't like Biden, or they don't like Obama, or they don't, they believe X, or they believe Y, or they believe Z. I really don't, man. Kirk County, Obama gave him money, they said send it back.
They said send it back.
Biden gave him money, they said send it back. Matter of fact, when Biden gave him money, they didn't send it back. They used it for something else, allegedly, right? The hate is so real for Democratic government that people will screw themselves. So, that's one county, Mo. That's one county. That should give you an idea of how real it is in Texas, bro.
That's insane. All All right, so
And then when you get some Mexicans who say your family, be bold enough to be like, yeah, I'll make sure they all get green cards.
That's true.
And be for real and mean it.
Yeah, it's a
Say
bottleneck.
it without shame.
They want to have that control. They want to have the, like the I don't know, was the congresswoman? She voted all against abortion. They explained that hey, sometimes the mother's lives are in jeopardy, and she was still staunchly against it until she had to. She needed to have those services performed on her, and then after that, she just made a couple personal calls to some people in power and got that done. I mean, and the regular guy and gal out here we don't have that power to do that. So hopefully everybody listens and watches we episodes. Here's Mo 3 times. Here's Will giving some good political analysis, and maybe we can do something about this little by little. But yeah, let me go back to
it's gonna take grassroots, man.
Sorry, guys,
we can do it.
Good trouble protests happening in our area. Yes, I was reading about the good trouble protests. Most of yes, MAGA are going to come out. Democrats are discouraged because Democrats in Congress aren't doing anything. Chuck, the people are speaking. This Saturday, there's good trouble marches in PA, Delaware, New Jersey. Violin will be on Sherman Avenue. I've been looking at these, people are still protesting. They're still protesting ICE out there. And it looks like, I'm not going to even lie, it looks like a farmer's market. They be out there on Saturday with their chairs, chilling, congregating. It doesn't seem like a real for-life protest as much as it is an opportunity to get some food truck food. But, I mean, this is where we are at in the United States of America in July of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just hitting sound effects because I am rambling right now. All right, so, wow. In the 60s, housing discrimination. In the 80s, undocumented labor, Polish workers being hired, taking out ads for the Central Park 5. In the 90s, he bankrupts casinos. Racist remark after racist remark, plus racial staffing rules against and removing black female casino dealers. Divorces Ivana, gets cited for cruel and inhuman treatment. She then goes on to allege rape in her later divorce book deposition. In the 2000s, Trump University scam. He's selling steaks. He's selling vodka. October 2005, Access Hollywood tape. He's grabbing them by their vaginas. 2011 to 2016, he runs with the birther conspiracy. Questions Obama's birth certificate. At the same time, Trump Foundation scandal. His charity misused funds. So much so that the Trump family is no longer allowed to open up or start a charity in the state of New York. 2016, underage sex party allegations. Claims that Trump partied with underage girls. Going back to 2006, we'll go extramarital. Stormy Daniels affair. Hush money paid in 2016. Found guilty on those charges. 34 of them, I think. 93, groping accusation. Former model Stacey Williams. Let's see what Stacey looked like.
I was just watching a deposition of her earlier. Stacey Williams. It don't matter, man. His son about to be just like Bush Jr. He up next.
Stacey
Williams.
He got
2 sons, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you got Barron too, right? So got 3 of them.
We don't want no Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't want Kamala. Yeah. Yep, Stacey Williams groped her on Epstein's watch. Longtime partner and friendship with Epstein. Epstein called Trump closest friend for 10 years. He flew on the jet. They partied together. 2019 Epstein file controversy. Trump has resisted releasing Epstein files. He's resisted releasing his fucking college transcripts or his taxes. And now MAGA voices are turning on him. 2017, as a president, Muslim travel ban. Charlottesville, find people on both sides. Remember shithole countries. Family separation. NATO, Paris, Iran. Withdrew from all of those accords. Leaked intel. Got CIA agents all in the crux. Impeachments. Impeached twice. And cited January 6th. There was looting. Oh, no. Remember looting equals shooting tweet? The white power retweets? Multiple indictments for fraud in New York. $350 million hush money felonies. Stormy Daniels, election interference. Classified documents. Immigrant dehumanization. Called immigrants animals. Deadly snakes compared to poison. 2025, authoritarian moves. Birthright citizenship revoked. Rights rolled back. Bias by a congressional review. Mass deportation, not only threats, but working towards it, aimed at desensitizing dissent. And then he's aiming mass deportation for dissenting non-citizens. And usually that's going to roll into actual citizens being kicked out. And then you got a media crackdown, declaring MSNBC, CNN illegal, also firing Department of Justice prosecutors, ergo the Smith probe. This is an anatomy of a hater. The only time this man did not have any type of controversy was when he was born in 1946. But hot out the womb, he has been a menace ever freaking since. What did the children say?
Ew.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna like that one. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got for you as far as Trump is concerned. I got one more thing I want to throw at you guys, just because I know Trump. We don't always do this. Yo, this is what I found out today. Let me look it up.
Is this a high note? Are we leaving on a high note?
It depends. It depends on how you take it. Remind yourself, next week, leave out from here on out on high notes. No, yo, Will, did you hear about, there's this lady in New Jersey that had 3 people paying child support for 1 child.
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that.
Okay, hold on.
Wowzer. I didn't know about child support, though.
You know about child support?
Yeah, I know about child support.
I am so happy I've never had to go through that.
Oh, man.
I thought I had it. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm saying it's like the military. Everybody should have to experience it once in their life. I don't agree with that notion myself.
What, child support?
Yeah.
No, that's trash. No, I would think everybody should either have to go to the military or work in customer service. Where is it? I can't even find it. Will, any good stories? Anyway, this lady got like over $100,000 because she had 3 men paying child support, and she was receiving about $3,200 per month for over a certain amount of time, which equaled to over $100,000 of child support fraud. And
Did Doge?
I don't know. Doge.
Did Doge find that out?
Yeah. Yes, they did. But yeah. Will, anything?
No, man. I'm look, blessed to be alive, man. Appreciate you having me on the show.
I appreciate you for pulling up. As always, You gave us good information. You broke down. Yo, Will, I'm starting to think that you and redlining, gerrymandering, I mean, I think that might be your baby. I'm thinking so.
It's real talk, man. We kind of live in information is our friend and education is our friend. And I think the more that we're educated, I think we can combat ourselves from this kind of madness, or at least know when we see it.
Right, yeah.
We just got to educate ourselves and help educate each other, because it's crazy out here.
Right. I mean, I've been thinking about it, and I'm not gonna lie, because you see me do this show week in, week out, and I've been telling people about this, like, yo, this guy is not what y'all think he is, and I get backlash, or every now and then I get some comments or something like that. But you're absolutely right. Education is the key. That's something I wanted to talk about. The Warren report was JFK. The Kerner report, I believe, was after the riots. So after any time there's some type of upheaval in the black or brown community, they have a committee to figure out what went wrong, how it went wrong, and what you can do in the future to mitigate those circumstances. And overwhelmingly, these committees come back with more opportunities for jobs, and better education for the children. And at every turn, we don't do that in these types of communities. So that's just one thing I wanted to say. But also, Will, I wanted to see, will you be available is it possible to do some type of online gerrymandering class that you do with the kids? Maybe I can hook up with a Zoom, and maybe we can try to gerrymander some stuff, make a game out of it.
Absolutely, man. Let's do it.
You heard it. All right, so I'll get with you. We'll talk about that. And if anybody else wants in on that, let us know. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, hit the alerts, hit the notifications, all of that good stuff for the Talking Shit Game Clicks YouTube channel, and for our weekly show where we all come together, we episodes, because there's no we without you. I'm hitting this button. I'm letting the children say yay. I'm hitting applause. And I'm promising you guys next week, I'll have the audio in order. We're not going to have no glitches. We're not going to have no glitches, because this shit's terrible. I know, right, kids? But hey, everybody, thanks for coming out, watching the channel. If you got something out of it, share, like, and hit the alerts. Tell a friend and tell a friend, because we need each other more than ever. All right, have a good night. Man, Will, I 9 o'clocked it. 9 o'clock. It does not feel like I did an hour and a half. It feels like we've been talking for like 20 minutes.
Time flies, we're having fun.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's not fun, but it's fun. Oh, yeah.
Right now.